Hey guys. So this is just my background. I'm not really sure what to put here, but basically today I just want to talk about how to get your Kyocera phone working. So a few notes beforehand. I'll just talk about Kyocera in general. It's a Japanese phone brand. They're kind of called key ties as well. There are a ton of different brands of them. The 701, the 902 KC, the A202 KC. They're all generally similar. You're not going to have crazy different experiences one over the other. The A202 KC is going to be a lot faster than the 902 KC or the 702 KC, but in general, they're all very similar phones and they serve a very similar function. Me personally, I have the I have the 902 KC, so that's kind of specifically what we'll be talking about today. But yeah, now I'm going to show you how to get it set up. Once you have it purchased and mailed to you. Once you have your Kyocera phone, how do you get it set up? Well, firstly, you got to get it turned on. To do that, you're going to press this little power button right here. So it's labeled power. Hold it down. It'll rumble and then start to turn on. All right. Once it's online, it's going to load either into English or Japanese. In my case, obviously, I already have it set up, so I've changed the background. I've added a little widget here, and it'll load automatically into English. However, if yours does not do that, I'm going to teach you how to get that set up. So the first thing you're going to do is press this button right here, this middle button, and that's going to bring you to your widgets. You're going to move down to settings, and then, of course, if yours is in Japanese, all these will be in Japanese. So we're going to go down to the bottom option here at more settings. We're going to go down to languages and input, which again, if this is in Japanese, it'll be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th account down, or I guess 7th. It'll be the 7th thing down. And then you'll click this, and then it'll be English or Japanese, and that'll be in English. So you'll be able to click English, and then change language, yes, and then you'll be able to press the power button to return home. This button will return home. Once we have this, we're gonna run down the buttons real quick, just so you know how to navigate your phone. Because when I first got this thing, I did not know how to do that. So there's gonna be two stacked buttons on either side. That's these four buttons right here. This is going to control some things, but while they're on the home screen, it's going to open their respective apps. So this is going to open your mail app. You're never going to use this button pretty much because we're going to change the texting app. So this button pretty much is useless on the home screen. This will open the browser. This will open the camera. And this is another button that really won't do much of anything because you're probably not going to use the TV function unless you live in Japan. These buttons right here on the home screen are going to navigate the widgets. So if I press this top button, it'll bring you here. This is how I edit the widgets. And if you go all the way to the top with it, if you see I'm highlighting that top bar, it'll bring you to your notifications. You can see that I have these three things down here at the bottom. These are just cues of these three buttons right here. So they're like my fast travel buttons. So I press this one button, it'll bring my texts. 2 brings me to my phone, and 3 brings me to Discord. It's just what I have set up right here on the phone currently. So once I have that, what do we do next? Well, down here we can open the call history. So this button right here will open your call history outgoing, or actually incoming, and this button on the right side will open the incoming call. So that'll open your incoming call history. That'll enter your outgoing call history, and this will open your phone book. This bottom button right here. But what about outside of the home screen? Well, outside of the home screen, we have these buttons down here. Obviously, this square button correlates to the square button here. But how do I click this menu or custom button? Well, that's where the mail button and this button come into handy. So to press this button, we're going to press that. And then this is always going to be your back button. This or this. So this will be your home button. And this is going to be your back button. So if we go back in, menu, I don't really want to change anything here in the menu of this setting, so we're just going to click this button right here. And that's going to bring us out of that menu, as you can see. So yeah, these two buttons, the mail and the browser button, activate as the clickers for this gray bar up here. So now that you know how to navigate, we are basically going to go into your phone settings and get this set up. For installing other apps / editing your APN settings so you can get this thing attached to your service. As you can see, I already have mine attached to service, so I won't have to do a lot of this again, but I'll show you how to do it yourself. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your About Phone. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry. And we're going to go down to the build number. Just going to be down at the bottom. You can see that I already have it set up. What you're going to do is you're going to tap OK. So you're going to tap the middle button a bunch of times until it says developer settings enabled, or congratulations, you're a developer, or whatever it says on your particular phone. So that's how you're going to get your developer options unlocked. Once you have that unlocked, we are going to go into the developer options and go down. So it's going to be in more settings, and at the bottom that'll be developer options. And we're going to go down to USB debugging, and we're going to check mark this. This is going to let us install apps and, you know, make other edits. So this is going to be important to have that checked. So, okay. Getting this thing working for just calling and texting, no apps installed, is actually not so bad. If you can call the default texting app on here texting, it's pretty atrocious. All you're gonna have to do, close your phone, open the back here, take out this battery. I'm not gonna do that currently, but you're gonna take out this battery, and there'll be a SIM card holder right there that you can put your SIM card into, as well as an SD card holder. Put the phone back on your phone, back on. And then just open it back up. So that's gonna let you, that'll actually allow you to use calling right out the bat. No APN settings required. Texting, again, is gonna require a little more setup, but as far as I can tell, as long as you're on, you know, T-Mobile, which I'm on, if you just do these steps, you should be able to call without any issue. To get this thing set up for texting, it's going to require a little bit more work. And so we're going to use Visor as a tool to help us input a lot of these settings. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Visor. It's going to come up with the first thing on Google. I'll also link this below in the description. And we're just going to click the download button. Download Windows. And that's going to download Visor Windows 507. You're going to get that set up. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it now, but as long as you are at least a little tech savvy, you'll figure out how to click the installer button. Once that's installed, we're going to open that up. And it's going to look a little something like this. As you can see, currently nothing's there. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to click this button right here. Well, actually, you already have this button. You're going to click this button right here, the ADB drivers. And you're just going to click download drivers, and then again, it'll be another installer, and that's what you'll use. Again, that's not really anything complicated. That's just to get the drivers working. And once you have this installed, we can start getting to work on the APN settings. Okay, so once you have the drivers installed and you have your debugging enabled on your phone, what you're going to do is you're going to plug your phone right into your computer using a USB-C to USB cable. Once it's plugged in, if you have the drivers installed and anything like that, and you know it's working, you'll know it's working because your device will show up right here as Android devices. You'll click View Device, and this screen will pop up. But currently, it's not showing anything. Why is that? Well, if you look at your phone again, you'll see that it's going to want you to click an OK button. It's just basically your phone asking you, do you want to give this computer access to your phone? You're going to click OK, You might have to click OK on 2 things the first time you plug it in, but once every time after that, it'll just be 1 OK button. And then here we go. Look, there's my phone. Now I can control it directly with my mouse if I want to, as you can see. So yeah, now that we've done that, we're going to navigate to Settings. We're going to go to Wireless and Network. We're going to go to Cellular Networks. We're going to click Access Point Names. And as you can see, yours is going to be blank. Mine's already got something on there. You're going to click this. You're going to click Menu. You're going to click New APN. And there's going to be all these things, which can be kind of overwhelming. But it's actually not so overwhelming at all. What you're going to do is you're going to go to this site right here. You're going to scroll down, manually input data settings, and you're going to click on Android Guide. And this is going to tell you what to type in each thing. So if we kind of put this off to the side, like this, so we can still see it. We have this here like this. You can see that at the top, name, T-Mobile, APN, fast.tmobile.com, you know, MMSC, which is down here, MMSC proxy, don't set, MS protocol, WAP 2.0, so you'll see everything here is already done here, and anything it says, everything it doesn't want you to use, just don't put anything else in it, right? So if it doesn't mention it from here, don't bother with it over here. Once you have all of that set up, you'll have an APN called T-Mobile that'll be right here. And once you have that installed, you should have 4G. So it should show up right here as 4G LTE services. So yeah, that will allow you to have texting and calling set up with 4G. Okay, now that you have all the ADB debugging settings out of the way, your APN is set up, you know, you can text and call. How do we get apps installed? It's actually not such a difficult process. I see a lot of questions about it on the Reddit, but we'll just get right into it and show you how it's done. So you're going to start here. I will link this below in the description, but it's called ADB plus Fastboot. What you're going to do is you're going to click the download. It'll bring you to this page. You'll click here to start download. Once it's downloaded, it'll appear in your download section, and you'll get a launcher. I already have this installed, so I'm not going to reinstall the program, but all you're going to do is run the installer, which will be in your downloads or on your desktop if you drag it to your desktop. And the only thing you need to keep track of is while it's installing, it'll ask you for 2 things. One, a folder where it's going to be installed. It'll automatically set to programs, 86, users, whatever. Keep track of where that folder is. We will need that later. And the second thing is make sure you create a desktop shortcut so you can access it easily. So right here, you can see the desktop shortcut. When you open it up, it is going to look something like this. Now, you know, with your phone still connected to your computer, right? So still plugged in USB-C to USB, you're going to type in ADB devices. And again, your phone's going to ask you to click OK. It didn't show up here because it's only going to show up in your actual phone, but your phone's going to ask you to click OK to allow the setting, to allow your computer to connect to your phone again. And you'll know if it's right because it'll say daemon started successfully, whatever. Type ADB devices again, and you'll see list of devices attached. Mine is attached. The first time you type it, it's probably going to say unauthorized because you have to click that OK button. But once you type it again, it'll say this is what you want it to say. List of devices attached to your device. So once you have this, how do we actually get anything installed? Well, we're gonna need an APK. So let's say you want an APK of texting, which is probably the biggest one you're going to want to install because the default texting app is just not very good with this phone. So all you got to do, QK SMS, and then it's going to come with this APK. And pick whatever one you want. Personally, I like APK Pure, so this is the one I'm going to use. You're going to click Download APK. So here it is, download APK. Whatever one I'll click, 9.3, sure. Wait for it to install. Great. Now then, now that it's installed, it's going to appear in your downloads. I'll just drag it onto the desktop for easy function. So here it is on the downloads. We're going to right click, rename. We're just going to name it QK SMS. Fantastic. The next step, remember how I said you need to remember where minimal ADB and fast boot is installed? Well, you're going to need to navigate to that folder now. In my case, it's in my this PC, local disk, program files, and minimal ADB and fast boot. So I'll go through that real quick. This PC, local disk, program files, and ADB and fast boot. So here it is. You can see I have all this stuff installed already, like everything's APKs installed. Once it's in this folder, once it's here, you're gonna drag this into the folder. Mine is already here, sms.apk, but whatever. Once it's in the folder, you need to click the continue button to put it in the folder. So there, now it's in the folder. All you have to do is go back to this window and type adb install and then app name here .apk. All right, and once you type this, let me actually install something here real quick. I'll do calendar.apk adb install calendar.apk. All right, quick editor's note here. I'm just gonna cut out this part of the video because I'm just like rambling, but basically when I ADB install this program, it doesn't work because I already have it installed. Well, when you do it, when you type adb install app name here.apk, it'll come up with the word success. So again, this is just, ignore this whole part of me speaking just because it didn't work because I was trying to install something I'd already installed, and it doesn't matter. Point of the matter is, it'll say success after it's installed on your end. ADB install qksms.apk. It'll wait for a second and then it'll say success. And then whatever you want, app name here .apk. And then when it'll take a second. And then once it's done, instead of saying this, it'll say success. It'll just say the word success down here. And that'll give you, that'll mean your app is successfully installed. So once it's installed on the phone, where do we find it? Editor here again. I forgot to mention in this section, but so to get to your apps, you can see where I'm typing. You're gonna go to that apps board, and then you're gonna click the globe button to bring you into the custom apps feature. But while you're there, I have all my apps already there. Yours is just gonna say blank. All you gotta do is click one of those sections, like where it says blank, or like add an app, add an application, and then it'll bring up a list of all available applications, and then you can just choose the application you want to add to that slot. So that's how you'll find your apps. Mine are obviously already there, but So that's pretty much the end of the setup guide, more or less. Everything after this point is just going to be my experiences, me talking about the phone, kind of personal thoughts, and what it means to me, so on and so forth. So, So the first thing I want to talk about is having your smartphone handy. A lot of people like this, and a lot of people don't. Me personally, I didn't throw away my smartphone or anything like that. I still have one. I don't use it daily at all, but it does come in handy, for example, when I need to go online banking or when I need to get somewhere, because the 902 KC has a very spotty GPS, which I'll talk about more in a second. But yeah, so it basically became a tablet, right? So if I need a tablet for something, I use it like a tablet. It'll be up to your discretion whether you think that's a good way of organizing it or not, but personally, it works for me. So yeah, GPS stuff. Yeah, GPS is kind of like a mixed bag. Some people have it working on their phones. Me personally, I didn't, so I didn't really bother to show you guys how to get it working, because for me it doesn't work. But I'm sure there are guides out there that'll tell you how to maybe get GPS working. I've tried them and they haven't worked for me, but I don't. Again, I just use my smartphone with offline maps, and it works fine for me. Because again, that's fine for me. What about, some people ask about, like, what about two-factor authentication, or like online banking and whatnot. And again, this comes back to using your phone as a tablet, like basically the iPad solution, right? Your phone is now a tablet that sits at home, that acts as your F2A, and it acts as your offline GPS, and it acts as your banking services, and it acts as all the stuff that you need or you don't want to do on the computer, or you can't carry your computer with you, etc., etc. That's what your phone becomes. So the best way I can tell you how to use it is just keep it in a drawer somewhere out of sight. Uninstall all the apps on it except for banking and whatnot, and then just use it as a tablet. And that'll help a lot, I think, in terms of keeping it out of your hands, and keeping it out of sight, except when you need it. Camera quality. Camera quality in this thing is pretty junk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will probably put a photo up here, but yeah, the camera quality is not great. It's like 2 megapixels, I think. So it also takes a long time to take a photograph. It's just not great. I really recommend picking up a digicam, like a small digital camera to carry around. They're pretty cheap. And it's going to be a lot better. Like, the photo quality is going to be a lot better than what you're going to get out of this little flip phone. So that's what I recommend there. Another thing I want to talk about is a lot of people say that you can't use the default calendar app, or like you can't use the default notes app with TT9 installed. This is not true. You can. You can use them installed. The thing is that the text won't appear. So what this means is, if I'm adding a calendar event and I'm inputting the name, nothing's going to show up until I press the OK button. So you're just kind of working on faith that you're like, type the word doctor, then press OK, and the word doctor will appear. You just won't be able to see it as you're typing it. So that's another thing. So yeah. How to edit widgets. You already saw how did I do that. You just press the OK button, and then you press any on your home screen, and it'll bring up a widget editing menu, and you can figure that out as you go along. The last thing I want to talk about, which is pretty important, is the IMEI number. This is important because you need to be able to look at your IMEI number before you buy your phone off of eBay or Kyocera or whatever you choose to buy it off of. Make sure you have the IMEI number of the phone so that you can look it up and make sure it's unlocked. Otherwise, you might buy it and it'll get to you and it's like, it's region locked to Japan, or it's locked to like SoftBank or or where the fuck. I don't really know Japanese phone companies, but it's locked to over there, and now you have a $130 paperweight that you can't use. So make sure you ask the seller for the IMEI number, unless you're buying from Kyocera, because Kyocera will probably, they give it to you pretty much new, so probably won't be an issue from there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all my thoughts on the phone. I really like it. I use it every day. Keeps me more present in the moment. I really appreciate having it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this setup review. Please leave in the comments any questions you might have, and I will try to make an update video addressing any concerns. All right, thanks guys. See ya.